This is lesson 56 for course 1, common denominators part 2. So when you're looking at common denominators, the reason we need them is when we're adding or subtracting, we need to have common denominators or the same denominators. Remember, our denominators are our bottom numbers. So for example, for this question, I cannot add these two together because they don't have common denominators. Okay, so I need to change them so that they have common denominators. Now, one way to do that is look at one fraction and see if I can make the denominator match the other fraction. This case, I can't do that. So I'm going to have to change both fractions to have the same denominator. How I do that is I look at common multiples, okay? Common multiples are numbers that when these times together with something, they have the answer. So for example, if I go through the 2's column, 2, 4, 6, 8, and let's stop there. 3's, multiples for 3's are 3, 6, 9, 12, stop there. I want the lowest common multiple. Okay, so the lowest common multiple 2 and 3 have in common is 6. They both have 6 as a multiple or an answer when you're doing your times tables. So I want to change both of these to a denominator of 6. So I'm going to do that down here. Now I would do that to the half. What do you times by 2 to get 6? You times 2 by 3 to get 6. And if I do it to the bottom, I have to do it to the top. So this is now 1/2 times 3 over 3, or 2 times 3 times 1 times 3. And what do I times by the 3 to get 6? I times 3 by 2 to get 6. If I do it to the bottom, I must do it to the top. I am now timesing this fraction by 2 over 2. So I come down here, my two new fractions, 1 times 3 is 3, 2 times 3 is 6. Add 1 times 2 is 2, 3 times 2 is 6. I now have common denominators, okay? If you noticed from up top, what I actually did after finding lowest common multiple, what actually happened was I timed this fraction by 3 and this fraction by 2. So I times each fraction by the opposite denominator to get me the common denominators. So now I add them together. 3 plus 2 is 5 over 6, because I just carry my denominator over. And now I need to put this into lowest terms. Can I put it into lowest terms, or is this lowest terms? Is there any number I can divide both of these numbers by? No. So this is now lowest terms, but you must always check, okay? But that's putting it into common denominators, is you need to change the denominator to be the same number. And instead of just changing one fraction to match the other, now we're changing both fractions to make new fractions to add together. Let's do one more together. Okay, another one is okay, 3/4 take away 2/3. Okay, 3/4 take away 2/3. So again, I can't do anything to the 4 to make it match 3, and I can't do anything to the 3 to make it match 4. So I need to change both of these fractions. Now, I can do this two ways. I can go through my lowest common multiples, and I can go through my 3's, 6, 9, 12. I can do 4's, 4, 8, 12, until I hit a number that both of them have. I now know that 12 is my lowest common multiple, so I'm going to be making denominators of 12. Or I can look at these and I can say, okay, well, if I times 4 by 3, I'm going to get the same number as if I times 3 by 4, which is going to make both of my denominators the same. So I'm going to times this fraction by 3's, and I'm going to times this fraction by 4's. So times this one by 3's, this one by 4's, and then I'm going to have new fractions. So this makes 3 times 3 is 9, 4 times 3 is 12, take away 2 times 4 is 8. 3 times 4 is 12. And I now do my subtraction. So I have something over 12. 9 take away 8 is 1. I have 1/12. And I know this is lowest terms because 1 I cannot divide by anything except 1. So this is lowest terms finished. Okay, again, there's two different ways to find the common multiple. You can do lowest common denominator, sorry. You can do lowest common multiples. List the multiples of each number until you find one that's the same. Or you can just times the opposite fraction by the opposite denominator. Okay, so because this is 3 as a denominator, I'm going to times this fraction by 3's. Because 4 is this denominator, I'm going to times this fraction by 4's. Either way works. It just depends on which way you feel comfortable doing it. But that is lesson 56, Common Denominators, part 2 for course 1.